You need very long arms.
Turning into woodsman. Thanks to Matt, a good friend. Alright, so I've arrived at Matt's place. Tomorrow we're gonna work on the van together because Matt has a lot more tools than I have, and I'm gonna tap into that to make sure that we get the deadline. And I'm staying here in their camper. Matt also owns a fully equipped camper, and this is my sleeping hub for tonight. I have the bed over there and we're all set up and gonna start working tomorrow. So see you then. We arrived at the workshop. So glad that we can use this place because it's pouring rain outside and it's freaking cold. So we're now inside this workshop, which provides us of all the materials that we need, of a dry place to work, and definitely a good and warm place to do some stuff on the bottom of the van, because I still need to fix the screws that I put through the bottom so that there's no water coming into the bus from the bottom. So let's go. Today we started on the roof and we started adding some cables because these need to be behind the insulation, and we definitely want to tuck them in there. So we already ran them through all the available spaces in the roof, which is great. And now we're gonna start building out the walls. There's also some cables that need to go in these walls, so we'll make sure that that happens. And yeah, looking good, starting to look good. We're actually running the cables through the frame in here, all the way up there, going through the van and then up into the ceiling, where they will be tucked away by the insulation. The stop contact was not working. The prise. Have to go around. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see my snooker
You need
arms.
very long arms.
Let's see if I have snooker arms.
Oh yeah.
Turning into woodsman. Thanks to Matt, a good friend. Making good progress. We already paneled out the van, so this is in place. We're now working on the ceiling. Like butter. Wah. The samurai sword is doing its job properly. Perfect, mate. Perfect. Let me just see if this one matches. No.
Yeah.
That will work.
That's perfect.
So these are really such a great invention. These are called sticky pins, and this takes away the stress of putting some weight underneath this, because you can really just attach them. These are not even stuck, and we really seem to be able to get them snuck in there if you just cut on the sides, and if you make sure that they are the shape of the hole that you're going to fill. You don't need a lot of work to get them into place. So let's put the sticky pin in place. So we have a flat surface here, and we're just gonna see where this matches. So this has to come about here. You just pop it in there. This is good stuff. And then we peel it. You just put it in the right place. All right, and then you just flop. And done. Snug at a really snug fit. To finish off the insulation, we have this plate which goes on top of the pin. And once you get that in place, this is going nowhere. Cut it off. And that's it. insulation stays in place. Okay, so as we have some cables running in the roof, we sometimes need to make a little incision in the insulation so that we get it flush and to get it flat so that we are able to get the roof in place. Otherwise we'll have a blob and we don't want to have that. So let's match that. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot better.
It's always a good job to grow one now and just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You don't want to pin your hands through that.
Alright, job done. So we started to put in some electrical wires, and these most of the wires are going into the profiles of the bus, and we do have to put some behind the walls. And since we already mapped out all the wall sheets, we're now going to take them down, reinforce them, and make sure that the wires are all into place where needed. We are going to run some wires in a conduit through the garage so that we can easily reach the ones that are mostly used. If anything is happening or if we have to replace one, we can still easily reach them. So let's go. As you can see here, we have some wires running into the car, and we also reinforce this because we don't want to get the wires shaft. And if that would happen, we could have a shortcut or yeah, even worse, a fire in the van, and that's something that you definitely want to avoid if you put your electrics into place. And to protect the sharp edges, we have been using some old hose. If you have it lying around, it's really handy. You just cut it to length and you slice one side open so that you can put it all along the edges where the wires touch the metal. So really handy, give it a try. Once you put the wires in place, you really have to label them so that you know which wire is coming from where, because they are coming from the van and they all look similar, so you really don't want to have to test them afterwards to know which wire is going where. So just quite easily tape them together, put a label on there, and you'll easily find which wire is which. What you doing?
I'm getting the kettle on and the hot tub so we can relax the muscles later on to invigorate ourselves for tomorrow's work.
Yeah, putting the fire on basically.
What's cooking?
I'm making human soup. Yeah, I'm circulating the water with equilibrium heat. Scandinavian hot tub.
My bubble buddy has a hot tub in the garden. So nice after working on the van all day, giving the muscles some time to relax. And the mind is just so quiet here. Just so cool. It's like 38 degrees and it's almost freezing outside. Feels so good on the muscles and so relaxing on the brain. This is soul food. Ooh.